Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Just kidding. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm the anxious yoga teacher. Welcome to Yoga for Your Sinuses. If you're anything like me, anytime I get a little bit of drainage, my mind first goes to, oh my gosh, I'm sick, and then, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Which probably those things may not be true, but our mind really likes to go those places. And you might have clicked on this video to help remedy some of that sinus pressure, and it can be really frustrating if that pressure doesn't get relieved. I'm not going to guarantee that this video will help with that, but we will be moving with the breath and the body and reminding ourselves that this is my body in this moment, and that's okay. We can say it's okay, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way. The big things I want you to have available to you are tissues and some water that you can drink throughout your practice. Now, in the video, I think it might be confusing. I talk about the lymphatic system and our sinuses. Whenever you feel that drainage, that's not your lymphatic system, but a lot of the things we're going to be doing today will help support the lymphatic system. So I just don't want it to be confusing thinking that whenever I'm feeling that stuff and I'm swallowing that's my lymph. No. But yeah, that's all I got. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys at the end. Bye. Also, when I move to the side in something called gate posture, my legs out wide, I have one knee bent, I'm moving quickly over to the side to show you guys the side profile, but don't rush to the side just because video Emily is rushing. Listen to my cues, and that should be where you need to be.
All right, let's get started here. Today, we're going to start off by assembling all of our props. Our most important prop today may be a box of tissues. Make sure you have that handy, some blocks, pillow, a blanket, something that you can sit on comfortably and support your knees later. Today, we're going to be started seating. So finding a comfortable seat on your blocks, pillow, or just on the ground. Crossing the legs, or finding feet together, knees out wide, legs out wide, or if it's more comfortable, you can sit in a chair. Hands can be placed on your knees, or palms facing up towards the sky. Find what works best for you. And settling in, with every inhale, imagining the spine rising up towards the sky. With every exhale, feeling the sit bones press into the ground. Find that connection here. And begin to notice your breath. Notice if you're a little stuffy, if you have any congestion in your face, and how that affects your breathing. Throughout this practice, it's really important not to force the breath to do something it can't or doesn't want to do. For example, whenever we do our alternate nostril breathing, it's very important to not force the breath through the nostrils. Rather, just let the breath be as it is in that moment, even if it's a little frustrating. That being said, find whatever breath you have. See if you can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. If not, breathe through the mouth. With every inhale, feeling the belly rise. Every exhale, feeling the belly fall. And putting it all together, the connection of inhale, tall belly rise. Exhale, sit bones reach down, belly fall. Go ahead and exhale wherever you are, let it go. And inhale for 1, 2, 3, hold. Exhale, 3, 2, 1, hold. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold. Exhale, 3, 2, 1, hold. And keep going with your breath, adding a number or subtracting. You can begin to add the arms whenever you feel comfortable. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling, pressing the hands down through heart center. You're welcome to stay here and skip the alternate nostril breathing. Otherwise, you can listen to my instructions before we begin. Alternate nostril breathing will help clear out a little bit of the sinus gunk. That means that as we're doing this practice, you may need to use your tissues to clear out anything that might be in the way. Also, remember, it's very important not to force the breath in or out. Just let the breath breathe as naturally as it can. Taking one last breath here. And let it go. Allowing the hands to be down by your side. Taking your right hand, bending the pointer and middle finger in towards your palm. If this is uncomfortable, take a finger gun. Bringing the right thumb to cover your right nostril. Inhale through your left nostril. Plug up the nose. Hold it. Exhale to unplug the right nostril. Let it go. Inhale through the right. Plug it up. Exhale through the left. Keep going. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Keep going with your breath. If this becomes tiresome at all, just forget about it and move back to our counting breath. You can add a count here if it's not too much to keep track of. Inhaling for 3, holding, and exhaling for 3. Taking 3 more rounds here. If for some reason you've messed up the order, don't sweat it. Sometimes it's difficult to keep track of all of the pranayama rules, but don't worry, it will get easier with practice. Take about 1 more breath in here and out. Let it go. Hands come back down by your side. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale tall and exhale here normally. Just notice if there's any difference in your face or your sinuses here. Take a moment. Next, we're going to be moving into some self-massage. Again, I've linked the videos that these techniques come from if you want to view it from the source. Taking your pointer finger and middle finger on each hand and going to your collarbone and feeling right underneath the neck that little impression. You can see on the video where I'm at. It'll feel like a little hollow place. Gently tapping those places in. You might begin to notice some of your lymph draining or some of that sinus draining. If that's the case, that's okay. Just notice what's happening in your body. While you're doing this, make sure that you keep breathing that deep belly breath. Maybe going back to your count in the beginning of class if that was helpful to you. Keep going. We're going to stay here for a little bit longer. Taking 2 more breaths here. Wonderful. Now taking your hands and placing them around your neck so that the fingers are at the very back of your neck. Grabbing the skin gently and pulling it down, noticing what sensations come here, and breathe. feeling the belly rise and fall, feeling tall on the inhale and grounding on the exhale. And reminding yourself that if this doesn't bring any relief, that's okay. Remember, we're not trying to force our body into any shape or outcome. We're just trying to accept it for how it is in this moment, but maybe help it out a little bit along the way. Awesome. Taking your hands and making Vulcan hands, like I call it, and putting them on either side of your ears and gently pulling down on either side. If your ears are particularly tender right now, this might be uncomfortable. If that's the case, feel free to skip it. Breathe. Remembering to inhale tall, relax the shoulders, and exhale the sit bones down. Taking 2 more breaths here. And let it go whenever you're ready. And we're moving back down the way that we came. So going back to your neck, placing your hands, fingertips behind the neck, gently pull down. Our lymphatic system is amazing, and it's sometimes helpful to help it out a little bit. Especially in yoga, legs up a wall is a pose we use a lot to help support our lymphatic system. But I have found that this self-massage is also a great thing to do whenever you're feeling a little congested. 2 more breaths here. One last breath in, and let it go. Finally, my favorite, going to that collarbone and pumping that little indent above your collarbone. Sometimes I like to do this if I'm waiting somewhere. People may not know what I'm doing, but it helps me drain some of that extra fluid that might be hanging out. Taking 2 last breaths here. And let it go. Hands come by your side. Once again, if you want to see a more in-depth video on this technique, please reference the links below. Bringing the hands to heart center, take 1 breath in tall, exhale here. Let's add movements to reconnect. Inhaling, reach. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale the arms up and keep them there. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale the right arm down, reach up and over. Rooting through the left sit bone, breathing through the side body. Taking 2 breaths here. One last breath. Release. Inhale up tall. Exhale the left arm down. Reach up and over. Rooting through the right sit bone this time. Breathing into the side body. 2 breaths. Release. Inhale up to the sky. Reach. Exhale to twist over to the right, feeling the belly muscles move. Right arm behind, left arm in front. Inhale tall. Exhale to twist with the belly muscles. Relax the shoulders. 2 breaths. Release. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale to the left. Left arm behind, right arm in front. 2 breaths. What we're doing here is taking 7 movements of the spine. And release. Inhale to unwind. We're almost done. Exhale to squeeze the shoulder blades together, coming into a cactus. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. One more. Exhale, squeeze it in. And release. Hands come to knees, bringing feet together, knees out wide. Take a deep breath in, get nice and tall. Exhale the belly button up and over to fold forward. Here you can round the back if that feels more comfortable to you. Otherwise, keep the back straight. Taking some breaths here. Once again, 7 movements of our spine will help that lymphatic system work. Adding some movement will also help the fluid in our spine move as well. Taking one last breath here. And release. Inhale yourself back up to the sky. And let it go. Coming off the block or your pillow to come into legs out wide, making sure you have some books or blocks handy and placing in between your legs. You can bend your knees as much as you need to make this posture comfortable. Also, placing a blanket underneath your sits bones can help tilt the spine to take some of the pressure out of the low back. Experiment and see what feels best for you. That being said, hands come behind, inhale up the chest, stay here or walk yourself forward. Inhale tall and exhale to fold forward, using those books as a place for your elbows. Setting your head to rest on your thumbs. Thumbs will go right at the beginning of your eyebrows. There's a pressure point right there that can really help release some of the tension in the face. See if you can find that spot and breathe, letting your weight rest heavy on those points. If this is not a comfortable place, you can play around with other pressure points on the face, maybe right underneath the cheekbones scooping up, or right on top of the nose and pulling apart. Breathing. If you're supported here, you can gently rock the head from side to side, bringing more weight to one thumb than to the other. Taking one last breath here and let it go. Slowly begin to press yourself up. Hands come behind the chest. Inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Move all the props out of the way and get ready for hands and knees, grabbing a blanket for those knees if they need some support. Making sure those fingers are spread wide underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Find your position. Inhale the spine long here. Exhale the belly button up and in, flatten the back. And forget it ever happened. Inhale, look up to the sky, dip the back. Exhale, round the back, dip the chin, press the ground away, cat and cow. Keep going with your breath. Now, you know your body best, especially when maybe it's not feeling well. So add some movements that feels good to you. Moving from side to side, shaking the head yes, no, rolling out the shoulders. Play around with it and see what feels best. Taking one last breath here and out. Beautiful. Grabbing a stack of books and setting them to the outside of your left knee about a foot away. Walk your hands in and place your right foot to be parallel to your left knee but outstretched. Walking yourself all the way up to the sky, hands on your hips. Inhale tall. Exhale here. Staying here, inhaling tall, or exhale the left hand down onto the books, reaching the right hand up and over, making sure to keep that right hip pressing up to the sky, right foot planting into the ground, long line of energy from foot all the way to the outstretched hand. Breathe here. Notice if your head is having issues. Relax it down, or you can look up to the sky or neutral. Breathe. Release. Inhale to reach the right arm all the way back up and reverse it for a second. Hand comes down on your right leg, avoiding the knee if possible. Inhale the left arm up and over, reaching. One breath in and out. Release. Setting the hands down and walking it back, bringing the right knee back in, and setting up for the other side, bringing the stack of books over to your right leg, making sure it's parallel with that right knee, reaching the left leg out long, walk yourself up, inhale tall, exhale here, inhale, reach up and over, right hand comes to the blocks, left arm reaches up, breathing. Long line of energy from foot all the way up to outstretched hand. Make sure that that left hip is reaching up energetically as well. Keep breathing. One last breath. And release. Using that left arm to reach yourself back up. Gentle reverse, avoiding the knee. Right arm comes up. Take a breath here. Release. Slowly begin to walk yourself down, removing your props, finding yourself onto your belly. Stacking the hands underneath the forehead. Windshield wiper those legs when you're there, or just wiggle the hips. And coming into Sphinx, elbows underneath shoulders, fingers spread wide, pressing up the chest, gaze over the nose, or head relaxed down. We're going to be doing a little bit of a weird pose with our mouth. If you feel uncomfortable, that's okay. I want you to inhale here. Exhale to open out your mouth wide, stick out your tongue, look up to the sky. Let it go. One more like that. Exhale, let it go. This is a variation of something called lion pose. It's a funny face, but it gets all those juices in the face moving. You're welcome to do this funny face anytime you feel like you might be a little clogged up. And release. Forget it ever happened. Stacking the hands, windshield wipering your legs. And release. Setting the feet down. To come out of this, you can come through Cobra or just press yourself up to a child's pose. Coming through Cobra, hands come beside your chest. Hug the elbows in, forehead on the ground. Zip up your legs. Inhale to begin to press yourself up. Exhale here. One more. And exhale to press yourself all the way back to your heels for child's pose. Grabbing a block for your forehead if that's what you need to reduce the rounding of the back. In child's pose, your hands can be long in front of you or by your side. If your forehead is on the ground or on a block, gently rock it from side to side to massage out that pressure point once again. One last breath. And release. Coming back into hands and knees. And going over to your right hand, looking at it, reaching your right hand up to the sky, and interlacing the right hand underneath the left, relaxing down onto your right shoulder and your right cheek. If this is at all uncomfortable, please go back and stay in child's pose. Left arm can reach towards the front of the room or behind. One breath here and out. Walking the left hand back in, looking at your right hand, inhale up. Exhale to set the right arm down. Inhale, left arm up this time. Exhale, left arm underneath right, left cheek on the ground. Staying here or reaching the right arm forward. Take a breath. Let it go. One more. Let it go. Beautiful. And slowly begin to press yourself back up into hands and knees. Moving into standing however is most comfortable for you, making sure that you have all of your props and your books at the top of your mat. While we're here standing, check in with your feet, making sure they're hip-width distance apart. Lift your toes, set them down gently, bending your knees, lifting up through the belly. Inhale, crown of the head reaching towards the sky, and exhale through your feet. Finding the connection here of inhale tall, exhale through your feet. Notice if your sinuses feel any different standing up, or maybe you felt a little woozy or lightheaded moving to standing. That's okay. Take it slow, one breath and moment at a time. Staying here or adding the arms. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, arms down. Keep going. One last breath. On your next inhale, keeping the arms raised up overhead, making sure that those shoulders are not up by your ears, and take a deep breath in. Exhale the right arm down. Inhale, get tall. Exhale over to the side. One breath in and out. Inhale, right arm back up to the sky. Exhale the left arm down. Inhale, tall. Exhale over to the left. One breath in and out. Release. Inhale, the left arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale back over to the right. You can move both hands this time or release the right arm down. Come back up on an inhale. Exhale over to the left. Release the left arm if needed. Inhale back up. One more round on your time. Breathing. And finally, all the way back center, inhale. Exhale, the hands come to your hips. Take a deep breath in, get nice and tall. Exhale to bend your knees and fold forward, grabbing your blocks or your books, and staying with a flat back if you're worried about eye pressures or something like glaucoma. Otherwise, bend the knees so much that your belly reaches your thighs, and allowing the hands to come to the blocks or hugging elbows and allowing the head to dangle in a basket that you've made for it. Shaking the head, yes, no, maybe so. Let it all fold here. Breathing. And taking one last deep breath in here. And let it go. Release. Bending the knees to slowly roll up, or keeping a flat back if you're worried about your spine. Coming all the way back up to standing, tucking the chin, last thing to come up. Beautiful. Stepping the legs out wide, making sure that both feet are parallel to the back of the mat. Having the hands on hips, inhale tall here. Bend the knees and fold forward, grabbing a book or block for underneath your face, or allowing the hands to rest on the ground. Shaking the head, yes, no, maybe so here. Staying here, allowing the body to cascade over the hips, or placing the right hand underneath the nose, left hand comes to your hip to open up to the left side, twisting. The left arm can reach up towards the sky or stay where it is on your hip. Breathing into a twist here. One last breath. And release. Shake it out. Left hand comes in front of the nose, right on your hip. Open up to the side. Right hand can reach towards the sky. Inhale here. Exhale. Keep breathing. One last breath. Release. Setting the right arm down. Both hands come to the ground, using the block as a support to help roll yourself up or keeping the back nice and straight. Coming back to standing, breathing, hands on hips. Bringing the hands to heart center for bellows breath. Inhale, the arms out wide, look up to the sky. Exhale, round the back, dip the chin, pinkies together. 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. 1 more. And out. Wonderful. Now moving to your backs, making sure that you have your books and pillows handy. We're going to be using both for Shavasana and our laying down posture. Laying down, bringing your knees into your chest, or just setting the feet down, knees towards the sky. Wherever you are, just roll around, breathing. And meeting in feet on the ground, knees reaching towards the sky, arms long by your side. Take a breath here. Rolling bridges. Inhale, lift the hips up to the sky, chin run away from chest. Exhale, lower the hips down. Keep going. Inhale, hips reach. Exhale, down. Imagining that there's a block in between your knees that you're squeezing, and there's energy coming up off your knees, reaching into the room in front of you. If that cue makes no sense, that's totally fine. One more breath here. And down. Wherever you've landed, inhale one last time, keeping those hips raised and grabbing your books or block to place right underneath your sacrum or that triangular bone at the very bottom of your spine. Adjust the height of the blocks or books as necessary so that you feel supported, but also have a little bit of height to allow yourself to relax into this posture. Breathing. Noticing if the chin is by your chest once again, seeing if that chin can go away, making the space long underneath the neck. Taking 2 breaths here. You can stay here, or I like to reach my arms behind me here as long as my shoulders don't creep up by my ears. It can be a nice sensation. Play around with it and see what feels best for you. Take a few more breaths here. And release. Finally, moving into our last few postures, legs up a wall, and final relaxation. I will be only cueing legs up a wall as our final relaxation posture, but you are welcome to take that and then a regular Shavasana as well. That being said, lifting up your hips and placing a block or books underneath that sacrum, and this time lifting the legs up towards the sky. If you would like to go next to the wall, you can bring one hip next to the wall and kick your legs up the wall and relaxing yourself down. If neither of these postures is for you, especially if you have higher eye pressures, what I would recommend is laying back on your pillows, maybe stacked too high to give your chest a little bit of height to still get a draining effect. Wherever you are, legs up a wall or relaxing on a pillow, just let it all go. Imagining the places in contact with the ground beginning to sink and get heavy, and especially all of the muscles from our legs, our belly, our back, chest, and finally the face begin to melt. Imagining your sinuses become warm and melt, draining. Noticing if the breath has become shallow or if it's remained deep. Wherever it is, give it a loving embrace and accept it for where it is. If there was no change in your congestion, that's okay. Remember that yoga may not be a cure, but it is definitely a tool that we can use throughout our daily practice. I invite you to stay here for as long as you would like after the video is completed. But each of these postures and practices can be taken away and used on its own. You might have found one practice or posture really helpful and one maybe not so much. I encourage you to make a note of what worked and what didn't and bring it with you into your everyday life. That being said, Thank you so much for joining me in this practice, and I hope that your sinuses feel better.